Folks, the bitter bunnies are at it again. Now, usually I don't listen to 40-year-olds gossiping under the guise of podcasting, especially 40-plus-year-olds podcasting about the culture. Because it's usually given Dirty Tims and do-rag energy, and I spent my days purity, all right? So listening to podcasts like that, I would have to then cleanse myself of the niggatry afterwards, so I usually stay away from that. But today, I decided to give the Joe Budden podcast a little listen. All right, because Academics ain't drop an off-the-record podcast episode in a little minute, and I needed something to watch. So while watching the Joe Budden podcast today, something came up, and I feel like, I need to share it with you guys, because y'all are like my family, since I don't got nobody else to talk to. All right. During the pod, Joe expressed how much he doesn't want to talk about Adam22.
I'm Adam'd out. I'm not recording. It's over.
Good, yeah.
Bro, it's
every
over.
time I opened the Twitter app is, yo, Ice, look, he said this, he did. I don't care. It's goofy.
I'm guessing Adam22 came up in the pre-production leading up to the podcast, and that was on the list of things to talk about. But Joe's like, bro, I don't want to talk about this dude. But one person in particular really wanted to talk about Adam22, despite the fact that everybody else was sick and tired of discussing Adam every podcast.
I want to talk about how there are episodes with him, like I said before, instigating black beef that could potentially lead to black death, and he's monetizing that. And it is the most disgusting shit
that was crazy
that I've seen. Yo,
there has to be a preset template for 40-year-old podcasting that all these dudes got. Because it makes no sense that they all recycled the 3 talking points, right? And one of those talking points being the big bad white man is taking over the culture and instigating beef between innocent black boys, a la gangster rappers. Now, here's the thing. I don't even contend the argument, right, that folks shouldn't be instigating or fanning street beef for profit. I don't contend that argument. What I do contend, though, is what exactly amounts to instigating. Because you're about to see the 2 examples he does give doesn't really amount to instigating at all. But outside of instigating, I do have an issue with this bourgeois Negro mindset, the elitism in black hip-hop media currently, where these dudes feel as if their podcasts and their platforms are too good to speak to certain acts. So then that disqualifies them from speaking or critiquing how other people speak to those acts. And that's actually a pretty reasonable take. If you feel as if your platform is too good to share it with J Main, Crip Mac, or J.H.E. Ruger, then you are disqualified in critiquing how Adam and others share their platforms with J.H.E. Ruger, Crip Mac, and J Main.
2 episodes came up recently. One of them is a gentleman, I think his name is Ruger, and I think he's one of Dirk's ops. And supposedly Dirk went on to Academics' platform and addressed the guy Ruger. So Adam brought Ruger onto his platform, and Adam said that right before he sat down, he's like, yo, I don't want to go into no street shit like that. So, but he said, yo, we could talk street shit. I knew his angle. He wanted me to talk about Dirk. And so he started trying to coax him into talking about Dirk. And he was like, yo, I don't want to talk about that. And you could see Adam got mad. Like he got visibly frustrated, like, oh, word, you want to do one of these interviews? And then he started saying, well, yo, if the dude said mad shit about you, you don't want to clap back at him? I'm giving you an opportunity to clap back at him. And that's what I sat here and told this motherfucker, that you are instigating these people going at each other. I don't give a fuck if they already had a long-standing street beef. If you played 5% or 10% into that, you are complicit in when something happens to one of these 100%. Niggas.
Obviously, this is a reach, and Ish is reaching primarily because Adam washed him in a prior debate. You see, what Ish says, his premise isn't wrong, but the example he tried to use or try to put the Adam and J.H.E. Ruger or the Crip Mac and J Main examples doesn't fit the premise. And here's why it doesn't really fit the premise. Ruger told Adam, don't ask me about no street ish, and gave particular questions not to ask. Those questions were avoided. Now, let's assume this. Ruger didn't give any particular questions not to ask, and he just kept it broad, as in, don't ask me about no street ish. Well, Adam asking Ruger about a Lil Durk comment he made on a podcast where Lil Durk is speaking about how Kanye invited both him and Ruger to the same place together knowing they don't get along. Adam asking Ruger about that don't amount to him instigating street-ish. Ruger never got asked about street beef. He asked Ruger about another rapper, Kanye, inviting him and another dude who he doesn't like to the same building, and how the other dude already spoke about it and told a story about why he didn't come. Right? If that amounts to street-ish, right, a rapper being asked about another rapper inviting him and somebody he doesn't like to the same place. If that amounts to street-ish, bro, then every hip-hop platform is responsible for instigating street beef. You don't see Ish critiquing the Breakfast Club for bringing on Gucci Mane and asking him about Jeezy, for bringing on 6ix9ine and have him talk about every gang politic ever. How about bringing on Frazier Star and asking about a beef with 50 Cent that could have been deadly? How about them bringing on Irv Gotti and asking him about a beef with 50 Cent that could have been deadly? How about them bringing on Gucci to ask about Jeezy in a beef that was deadly? How about bringing on The Game and Meek when that beef was heading towards a deadly spot and asking The Game about Meek? How about Jim Jones and Pusha T? How about the countless other examples? You don't see Ish critiquing that. You see, it should not be about race. If the issue is media instigating beef that leads to Black lives dying, then whoever is instigating, whatever color they are, you should also have an issue with that as well. Right? And if you're not critiquing other people in hip-hop media, now you critiquing Adam for asking, again, a pretty vanilla question, shows you probably have an agenda or you just don't like the guy.
Then he sat on another platform and it was Crip Mac. And J-Mane is his name, and he just sitting there laughing. Wow. Like they got the split screen.
That was ridiculous.
They got the split screen. Adam's at the top, and the other two gentlemen are beefing at the bottom, threatening each other's lives and talking about each other's mothers and grandmothers and everything. He's sitting there like, making jokes.
Now listen, the cooning that those black men did on Adam's live stream is just a product of when certain black folks get around white folks, they feel the need to act up and show they're the biggest, baddest gangster. Now, it was probably a product of slavery, right? On how slaves will buck dens and fight to show massa that they the biggest, baddest slaves on the plantation so they can maintain some value and privileges, right? So when you seen, I guess, J-Mane and Crip Mac arguing and crashing out on Adam's live stream, that's not Adam's fault. Because Adam simply brought them up and the conversation was pretty positive. But as most Negroes do, when a little misunderstanding happens, instead of stopping themselves dead in their tracks and figure out where the disconnect is happening, right? Why there's an argument, why there's discontent, instead of figuring out what the issue is, they go in full crash out mode. So we're going to watch exactly how J-Mane and Crip Mac began arguing for y'all to fully understand that this isn't Adam's fault or any white man's fault that these two got into it.
Holler at him and be like, yo, we're going to put the interview out anyway. Because realistically, like, I don't really like when people waste my time.
Yeah, what's the point of wasting the time?
Adam,
Dude hit there when you got Crip Mac on his bitch.
You don't care about your wife. You should let the disrespectful dinker fuck your wife. You don't care about her.
What are you talking about, you piece of shit?
I'm gonna keep it 55th. You don't care about her.
I don't care about my wife.
You don't care about her.
Now watch how fast this wholesome interaction goes left and turn into gangbanging.
You don't care about her.
The 55th Street out your ass.
You don't care about her. You don't care about her.
Yo, I'm gonna.
Hey, boy, you over there with Blueface, boy?
J-Mane asked Crip Mac if he's over there with Blueface. Now he's taking a jab at Crip Mac meeting Blueface and them squashing their beef. And people were saying that Crip Mac took an L in squashing the beef because Crip Mac had some critiques about Blueface before they met. So J-Mane asking Crip Mac, yo, you over there with Blueface? Now J-Mane is a comedian. He's just being funny. He don't got any real issues with Crip Mac, but Crip Mac don't know that.
Crip Mac, don't make me start on you because we
No,
all
it's you,
Hey, big FYB. Do your homework, Crip Mac, on big FYB.
J-Mane's favorite lingo or slang or tag is do your homework. So he tells Crip Mac, yo, do your homework, Crip Mac. You feel me? I'm J-Mane. Now, he says it on every interview. It's supposed to be funny. Crip Mac hears do your homework. That's gang term of see how gangster I am. So now Crip Mac responds back, and now it's just full-on gangbanging at this point.
I don't got to do my homework on you, nigga. You don't got no more play ball.
Hey, Custer, do your fucking homework.
You I'm a comedian, nigga. I'm a real fucking gangbanger
Hey, that's
out
cool.
here, boy.
That's cool. Who the
No,
fuck
it
you
ain't
think?
cool, nigga.
Hey,
This
look,
is what I really
look,
do out
look,
here,
look,
nigga.
look.
Now, things escalated and threats were made, but I'm not going to show that part, right? Because there's no reason for me to show them threatening to kill each other. But according to Ish, that was Adam's fault. How was that Adam's fault? How was Adam responsible for two grown men getting into it on an IG Live and threatening each other? How do you possibly blame Adam for that? Now, I believe that black folks should practice more tribalism, right? As to where we should owe each other more loyalty. But unfortunately, we don't. So arguing on live streams with each other is a normal occurrence at this point. But that's still not Adam's fault. You see, Ish started off with a great premise, but then he muddied up his premise with bad examples. My biggest problem with a lot of this, though, is what they say next. See, they were openly bragging about having a bourgeois Negro mindset. They was openly bragging about how they would never in their life would they ever give a platform to guys like Ruga, Crip Mac, and J Mane, and that their platform is too good for people of that ilk. So that's hypocrisy to me, because you can't on one side of your mouth say what these people are doing on the platforms they're given is wrong, and the people sharing their platforms with them is wrong, and you're trying to critique how platforms are sharing their audience with those people, but then say you would never talk to those people.
It's and not just that, like he's giving certain people an outlet that nobody else is giving them.
True.
Like, not trying to be funny, but a lot of them dudes can't go sit with the upper echelon.
They can't sit with us.
Exactly. They can't.
Yeah,
so
there's
he's
a reason they can't.
Yeah, but
you see how condescending they are. You see how bourgeois and bougie they come across, scoffing at the idea that those dudes will ever get an opportunity to sit with them. Oh, they can't sit with us. See, there's this culture of black elitism in hip-hop media currently, right? Like, you know the dudes who you always see on, let's say, Complex, Apple Music, right? And then they're on Amazon the next, then they're on Spotify the next, then they're at the BT Awards and MTV Awards, and they, right? And they're just in different doors, but they never built their own platform. And they're not really entertaining. They're not really stars, but they just keep getting their foot in certain doors. That's because they're in that group. And that group don't really allow anybody else to penetrate. So when you see guys like Joe Budden, Ish, and Ice, when they talk about how certain ilk of dudes can never sit with them, well, they're elitists now, right? They're black hip-hop media elitists. So you can't sit up on your high horse and say you would never scoff off. I would never talk to guys like that. And then get mad and pissed off and try to give critiques and put your 2 cents in as to how other people talk to them. No, no, it don't work like that. It shouldn't matter to you. You say you wouldn't talk to them, so don't talk about them. It's that simple. Now, I'm sure, all right, some people in the comment section will probably try to paint this as me cocooning for the white man. I'm just calling it how I call it, bro. I'm calling it straight down the middle. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man, how you feel about this, all right? It's your boy, Poetic Flacco. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.